Quarantine has taught me one thing. There's a fine line between I'm growing my beard out and I've given up on life. This is the Social Minute. Good evening, I'm Deece Casillas. In continuing coverage of the Jeffrey Epstein case, Ghislaine Maxwell recently said she has tapes of U.S. politicians having sex with minors, which is absolutely crazy and absurd. I mean, who has tapes anymore? Amazon recently came out and said that they'd like to buy the retail spaces formerly held in malls by JCPenney and Sears and use them as fulfillment centers for their deliveries. So basically, Amazon wants to fill all those buildings with all the stuff you didn't want to buy from JCPenney's originally, that they liquidated to Amazon. Then they're going to put it back in that same building, except now you can't go in that building. You have to go online and buy it, and they'll deliver it to you. But you can't afford any of it because of artificial inflation and an unlivable minimum wage. And that, kids, is capitalism. And now, the moral of the week. For my Christians, just keep in mind that pearly gates and streets of gold are gauche. You should hope that the gays get into heaven so they can at least redecorate eternity for you. And in a rare move, President Trump recently sat down for a long-form one-on-one interview with Jonathan Swan from Axiom Media. Now, the interview lasts about 37 minutes. And for those of you who want the too long did not read version, the interview goes completely off the rails at 11 minutes and 34 seconds in. Trump doesn't understand statistics at all, and Jonathan Swan has the patience of 1,000 angels. Now, for those of you who want a few more details, I'll give you a little bit of an overview. Oh, wait, 1 second. Let me get on my life vest here. It's kind of a wild ride, folks. Buckle up. The first stumbling block in the interview came when Swan pressed Trump over COVID deaths in America.
Take a look at some of these charts.
I'd love to.
We're going to look.
Let's look.
And if you look at death
It's started to go up
here's
again.
one. Well, right here, the United States is lowest. In numerous categories, we're lower than the world.
Lower than
we're
the
lower
world?
than
What does that mean?
Europe.
In what?
Look.
In what?
Take a look. Right here. Here's case death.
Oh, you're doing death as a proportion of cases. I'm talking about death as a proportion of population. That's where the US is really bad.
But I don't understand these papers. I have all these papers. So I've got these different papers. They say different things. They look, the papers. There's graphs on them, don't you see? Just kidding, I just drew a cat. Then, when asked if he reads his daily security briefings, Trump said this.
Do you read your written brief?
I do.
Do
I
you?
read a lot.
Really?
You know, I read a lot. They like to say I don't read. I read a lot.
Your daily
I
intelligence
comprehend
brief?
extraordinarily well. Probably better than anybody that you've interviewed in a long time.
And when asked when he recently had a conversation with Vladimir Putin if he questioned him about whether Russian soldiers were paying bounty on US soldiers to the Taliban, he had no comment. It didn't come up.
It's been widely reported that the US has intelligence indicating that Russia paid bounties or offered to pay bounties to Taliban fighters to kill American soldiers. You had a phone call with Vladimir Putin on July 23rd. Did you bring up this issue?
No, that was a phone call to discuss other things.
But he did end the interview on a positive note by saying this.
The other day, a reporter asked you about Ghislaine Maxwell. You said, quote, "I just wish her well, frankly." Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. She's been arrested for that. You know
Her
that.
friend or boyfriend
Epstein.
was either killed or committed suicide in jail. She's now in jail. Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck.
But hey, I get it. Ghislaine Maxwell's a voter too. They all count. Guys, I really just want to know, how can you continue to support this guy? Listen, I get it. You may like some of his ideas, and he's surrounded himself with some smart people who are able to implement some of his ideas. Now, whether you agree with those ideas or not is a different conversation. But can we at least admit that this guy is a complete buffoon? You're being intellectually dishonest if you tell me this guy isn't anything but a goddamn moron. Meanwhile, on the other side of the aisle, Democrats are scrambling to find Biden's VP and decide who's going to shove their fist up his ass and work him like a hand puppet for the next 4 years, assuming he can actually win the election. And I feel for him. That's got to be a tough role to fill, especially in the era of identity politics. I mean, they have a lot of boxes to check. They want a woman, they want someone who's black, they want someone who's powerful, talented, they want name recognition, I think they want a furry. I don't know, I mean, Jennifer Hudson from Cats? And then we have Jo Jorgensen, Libertarian presidential candidate, who recently had to skip a rally because she was bitten by a bat. Do you know what that means, guys? If you vote for her, we can have Batwoman for a president. And I like the sound of that. For the Social Minute, I've been Deece Casillas. Good night, folks.